Just. Hello, hello. Oh no. Oh, okay. So I'm walking in with the mic.
One, two. Hello, hello. Yeah, yeah. That's where her question. Good evening, good evening, everyone. We welcome you once again to Story of Heroes. And today, or tonight, our special guest is the creator of Stories of Heroes. I just want to introduce my wife as LaShanna Alfred, and let me give you a little thing about what's going on tonight. I want her to be revealed to you personally. There's a lot of things that are going out there, and people think they know someone when they really don't. There's some things that I want to bring to your attention. As a husband, I have learned to appreciate. As a husband, I have learned, even in the midst of the male statue, have learned to follow. God's anointing is God's anointing, and I'm following the anointing. It doesn't mean that we're subservient. It means that we do certain things differently. And as the scripture says, that we become one once we're married. So I just want to open this up by thanking everyone taking the time to come see and hear. And maybe something will be uncovered about Shana that will bless your spirit. That God get the glory out of this thing here that's going on. This is live. This is live. This is live. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the story of heroes, LaShanna D. Alfred, the creator of this What's Going On. Come on out here, girlfriend. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Push and pull, y'all. Push and pull. All right, all right, all right. This is LaShanna D. Alfred, the creator of Stories of Heroes, excuse me, and chief executive of U Chain LLC, publisher, beautiful wife, mother, and friend. What I would like to do is, first of all, we want to start off from the very beginning. Uh, what I mean by that, everything that we do has a starting point. I got some secret questions over here that I put in this bucket because I know if I hung around her, she would be able to kind of like pick my mind apart. But once again, I want you to see her in a way that you never have seen her before. We're going to talk about some things that you may not understand. But once again, I introduce to some and to all LaShanna D. Alfred.
Thank you. Thank you. This is weird, right?
Yes, it is.
It's kind of weird, right? Because literally, I I feel anxious or something. You know
Well,
what
you
I'm saying?
should be nervous.
In
Your
my
husband.
I doubt it is that. But it's like I'm constantly bringing people onto the show, and praying over people and calming their nerves and all of that stuff. And I'm sitting here and I think it's just, and I'll go live and all of that, but today, and maybe it's because I don't know what questions you're going to ask.
You sure don't. She
So
has
I'm
no clue.
yeah,
None whatsoever.
yeah. But I appreciate you wanting to do this,
Mhm.
and to actually interview me on the show that God birthed in my spirit. So
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
You sure you're ready?
I'm ready for it.
Are you sure you're ready?
I'm ready for it.
There are some surprises, and the thing about this is that I have a red bucket back here. I know she didn't even know that bucket. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow her to pick her own poison. Oh yeah, you're gonna get in. You don't know how this is, but you're gonna get in there. What's in here is some questions based on the anointing that God had given to her that was written down some years ago. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen that forward again. there's something about books and literature that when people write it, the process of writing and the process of figuring everything out. But if you have never witnessed it yourself, it's like a new movie. The book may have been out for a while, but if you've never read it, it's new. It's like when I go in the search channels and there's a movie that's been out since 2001, but I've never actually saw the movie itself. And so when I see it, it's like the first time. It's like the first time. So what do you do, Shauna? Actually, what do you do?
I I empower people. I empower people. I help people recognize um, the connection between past events and present circumstances. And so I am a licensed independent social worker. I do have my own private practice. I'm a three-time author. And so everything that I do is empowering with the intent to empower and bring about positive change.
I love it. I love it. One of the things that you don't really know about her is that she'll say certain things and elements, but she doesn't really like to talk about herself. How many books have you actually produced? Because a lot of people think you come in here, yo, flag, your flag, your flag, and you just got this thing about you being confident. But actually, how many other people did you actually come into the light or bring them into the light of processing their book in whatever way that you can? You don't have to use names or anything, but how many books have you actually had your hands in to help people come with your book?
Probably, but why do I feel so bashful? Like this is so weird. I'm usually like, oh, like, hey, y'all, we can do this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But now,
Hey, y'all, I can do this.
yeah, yeah, I've assisted with publishing and teaching people how to write their story, publishing over 10 other people books and teaching um, numerous amount of people on how to write and self-publish their books.
How does that make you feel to see someone who has an idea in their head or in their spirit and then actually see it materialize on earth on paper? How does that make you feel?
You know, now that you're asking me, right, I feel kind of like, oh man, because when I'm in it, and I think that's why this is so, I'm in an uncomfortable seat right now. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm doing it, I'm just doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being who I am. And to actually sit back and really reflect on it, it's just like it's bringing some like emotions that's not normally there when I'm actually helping other people.
Can you explain that process?
What you think?
The process of helping someone and then actually see them and encourage them to be with them, stand with them, and now you see it materialize.
Right.
How do you feel about that process?
So I'm not sure how to answer. Like I just, it's like I don't feel, I don't feel like, oh yeah, I'm helping people. I don't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, okay, I'm this great wonder. I don't feel that way. But I'm just humbled by the fact that I'm actually seeing the manifestation of what I prayed for when I was in a third world country. I'm literally seeing the manifestation. And so I'm actually walking in what didn't seem possible,
Mm-hmm.
years ago.
I have a question. We had a conversation probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I believe it was my wife who mentioned, what is the difference between someone who builds and someone who has vision? What do you think? How did you say that? I think it was dynamic. You said one who builds and one who has a vision or walking out of faith. How do you explain?
Let me just tell the audience. Let me say I'm not really that dynamic, right? So when he says that I said something dynamic, I can't repeat it for real because I knew it wasn't me that said it.
To God be the glory. To
So I'm
God be.
not that sweet. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I recognize the God in me who is definitely that now. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when I'm asked to repeat something, I'm like, some stuff you gotta catch it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be caught. But when we're talking about, what I'm saying, building, I think I was talking about the difference between a private practice and an agency,
Okay.
right? And so I associated the private practice with playing golf and the agency with playing basketball. So in golf, it really is about that individual's experience. So in my private practice, it's about me. You know what I'm saying? My expertise, my experience. So people are coming to me because they believe that I have the answers or that I can assist them in getting or reaching their goal. Well, in the agency piece, I need my team. So in basketball, I don't care how good LeBron is, if you don't have other players that's just as good or who is able to assist, him, they're not gonna win. So when you're working with a team and you're the visionary, you have to make sure that you have people on your team that can actually see the vision.
Why is that important?
That's very important because here's the thing. Because I know it's only me, right? And so when you catch the vision and you're working for you change, you're a representation of LaShanna. And if you don't catch the vision, if I'm not around, you're going to be doing things that I may not approve of if you don't catch the vision. But if you catch the vision, I can be at home sleep, I can be on vacation, and I know my baby's gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? Because the person who's actually caring for my baby when I'm not there actually love my baby.
So how do you select your team?
Well, the team I have now, I pray. You know, I prayed and I asked God to bring people onto the team who have strength in areas of my weakness. And so when they showed up, I couldn't allow my any controlling issues or trust issues to actually hinder me from seeing the value. And so it's not really me that's choosing them; it's me trusting God to bring people like that.
How did you hold them in place? Such that everybody has their own name. How do you build agencies? You all in God. In other words,
Well, I told you what I do. I empower people, right? And so people who may not necessarily believe they have the gifting or the skill, my ability to um, trust them, right, and just kind of push them out there, and their willingness to trust me is what gives them the confidence that they can do it. I have people on my team who won't move until everything is in place. And when you're building something, you got to build. Sometimes not knowing where the next tool is gonna come in. So that's where I empower people that come in my path. You know, they're definitely independent. I build leaders.
how much does it make it good operate of building another building and still be the mother to the children? How does that affect?
You know what I'm saying? Seriously, I'm just being who I am. And so that's the thing, right? Like, I don't wear many hats, right? I have one hat. I have one hat. Because if I wear many hats, I may forget where I'm at or wear the wrong hat. You know what I'm saying? So if I got my strip club hat on and I go to the church, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how that's gonna flow. Like yesterday I was on live and I had my little workout stuff and I'm like, you know what, y'all, like I'm not in church, you know what I'm saying? I don't usually wear my church clothes when I work out. And then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, well hell, I don't wear my church clothes at church.
With that double H, double I keep thinking. See, this is the reality of what I love about it. One of the things that we have opened up the conversation for is that if you haven't read a book, you've seen it being around a while, and this person has not read it, you don't get into the intricacies. details of why. So I want you to I got something. I got three books. I have to go back in the time. I got behind bars, the original book. I got late. Boss, y'all. I think she was trying to get another name. And I didn't understand that it stands for mature, assertive nature. And then power of perception is one of my favorites. It's not the favorite. I want to pull out something that you wrote in the book behind bars. And it says about choices. Why
You
was
got to hold it.
why was choices? Why did you select choices as your first child?
Whew, because um, every day we have choices. Every single day, And in my life, I made some choices, that came with some consequences. Some that I liked and some that I didn't like. And, really helping people understand, the power of choice.
Yes, yes. You wrote something. And it says, my past has tried to hinder me from going forward. But I heard the Lord say, who the Son makes free is free indeed. I am no longer handicapped to my past. You too can be free from your past and reach for a better future. The choice is yours. Why did you say that? Why was that so?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you said me back.
Yeah.
Well, because I remember uh, I remember being um, in prison because of a choice that I made, and I remember saying I didn't want my story to just be that I was in prison, right?
Okay.
And as I began to seek God and seek my purpose and really understanding that just because I didn't have my mom or my dad, and just because life had went the way life went, didn't mean that I was stuck, right? And that I was literally set free from the anger, set free from the hurt, any betrayal that I may have experienced. That I was literally made free from it. And it's interesting because I look at words, and it's a difference between being set free, right, and being made. You understand what I'm saying? And so in that process, in my process, God, ooh, Jesus, God did something. You know what I'm saying? He made me free. He didn't just set me free. He didn't just come and unlock, the bars.
Mm-hmm.
He literally made me open, where he shaped how I think about the world and everything around me.
Wow. I noticed that you said that you lost your mom and dad. A lot of people lost a house, and a lot of people would use that to stay stuck in the area. How was you able to move forward? Because they didn't just lost; they were taken from this world and was taken from life itself. How did you survive?
Yeah. How did I survive? He, well, I wasn't surviving prior to I was just living. So I wasn't really surviving prior to um, me accepting Christ as my Lord. I wasn't surviving. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was surviving, I wouldn't have got into all the crap that I got into. I wouldn't have hurt as many people as I hurt. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have did some of the things that I did. So I was not surviving. You know what I'm saying? I was existing in a world, full of confusion, not knowing what my path was going to bring. And so, how do I survive now? Is recognizing that that my life has purpose, you know, and that everything that has happened in my life were ingredients to bring me into or make me the person I am today.
Wow. I want you to camera, whatever camera is on. And for many individuals out there who have lost something that is really important, been married and mom and children, this likely set like a snatch from them. What would you speak to them right now? What would you say?
So I would say that the pain is real. You know, the hurt is real. You know, and you don't have to be ashamed of feeling the hurt and the anger, right? You don't have to be ashamed of that. However, you have to ask yourself a serious question. Do you want to live, right? Would your loved one want you to live? Because I know my mom will want me, you know, that my mom wouldn't want me to allow the person who murdered her to murder me, right? So I'm existing, but I'm not really living. So yes, hurt, yes, cry, all of that. But at the end of the day, I look at my life now, and at times when I graduated from college, and when I started or wrote my first book, and when I made all these accomplishments, I would literally be like, okay, mom, we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like allowing my mom to live vicariously through me. And so if you are someone that's watching and you are in the midst of grieving, you have lost a loved one and you haven't been able to kind of live and get up, I'm saying you have to make a decision. Like, what would my loved one want? You know what I'm saying? What tribute can I give to them? Would they want me to just be sitting here depressed and not living? What would they want from me?
You hear that out there? Did you hear that? I want that to settle. Settle, let that settle. Because in this life, we are going to lose something. Everything. Red and sheep and sheep. So we must bear our cross. I noticed that you got this butterfly as your trademark. I'm saying, where did it come from? What does it mean, the butterfly?
So the butterfly is everybody knows complete metamorphosis, right? Complete metamorphosis. And so when I look at my life, right, completely changed, completely changed, right? And so the butterfly just represents the complete makeover that has happened in my life. And so you change is that's what I promote, right? That's what I want people to understand when they interact with me, when they come encounter with me. That guess what? You can change. It's not about changing your boyfriend, your girlfriend. It's not about changing your kids or anything like that. It's about you understanding that you can change. You know,
I'm looking here at another excerpt out of the behind bars book. It says, people say you can't change. That may be true, but God can change you. And once He changes you, you are changed indeed. I love that. I love that. Did God change you? Why did you think?
first because I cried about it. I cried about it, right? I was desperate for it, and it didn't come. Didn't come easy. I thought I was too crazy for God to change. You know what I'm saying?
What do
Like,
you mean?
yeah,
Explain that.
I like lived my life how I wanted to live it. I did whatever I wanted to do, and it was no holds bar. So, um, so when I started seeking God, and I'm like, dang, like, can He change me? you know. And it was a process, right? Because I was one that thought you can beat stupid out of people, you know what I'm saying? But realizing that you can't, and that I allow people to control me, based on my own perception, and I was giving my power away. And so he had to take me through a series. It's a process. Change don't happen overnight, but you got to be willing to fight for it. You got to be desperate for it, And as those things happen, you'll begin to see. the change that you see.
One of the things I want to you know,
I say I'm like a helicopter.
you
Wait,
is
which one does just like shoot out? Say I'm kind of going slow, and it's like, he's playing the violin. I'm
Here
like,
you
I
go.
like, I'm the drummer.
Come on, drum it there. Get the drummer some. Open that up, and you can breathe. This here comes from the book of Rebuild, a pamphlet that we did probably about when we did yeah, Rebuild at the University of Toledo. And it says, this represents the pen. And it says in Habakkuk 2 and 2, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets so that he may run that sees it. My question to you, can you tell us why was this used and the importance to us, the audience? Why did you put that in
I put so okay when we're talking about rebuilding, right? It's like okay, first of all, we got to understand where we are and where we're trying to go, and we got to take what's here in our mind and put it on paper. So that pen symbolizes our ability to write it out, right? And so the writer, the author in the back said, so those who see it will run with it, right? Those who read it will run with it. And at the end of the day, it's like if I just got it here and I'm wondering why nothing is happening, it's because I haven't written it. You know what I'm saying? So that was the importance of that particular part of the pamphlet. And I'm the author of my life, right? And so I'm going to write. So I don't care how bad your first chapter is, you got an opportunity to rewrite this.
what it is?
This right here is a pickaxe.
Depending on
Pickaxe.
our individual experience, some may need a pickaxe, which is used when the soil is rocky due to bitterness, unforgiveness, and past traumatic experience. I'm asking you, when should you use this tool and why?
So we're talking about the pickaxe, right?
Yeah.
So if y'all seen the picture, so the pickaxe has a pointy, sharp side to it, right? And it's used to kind of to get into those, the crevices. And so when you ask when should we use it, when you are entangled in an unhealthy relationship, right? When you are entangled and feel tied into something, you got to be able to get that. You got to be able to dig deep, right, to bring about the change that you see. You have to be able to do it. A lot of times, we're expecting others, so we'll say things like, especially in relationships, we'll say things like, "Well, if he don't want to be here, why don't he leave?" Well, why shouldn't he? He has his cake, and he can eat it too, right? So why shouldn't? So the pickaxe help you to dig and figure out what's going on with me that I'm putting up with things that I said I would never put up. So it helps you go deeper in this process of change. I'm not going to be picking at these buttons. Oh, yes, you are.
This is stories of heroes, and you have to share. What's going on is these things, these implements that are in this book to rebuild your life, they are applicable to today, and they must be able to be explained because this is not something you can just use back then. These instruments are used to rebuild on a continuous basis. Show me what you
Okay, so this is a broadfork. I don't know if y'all can see, but it's a broadfork, right? And a broadfork is used to loosen the soil in preparation for the seed. So there are no secrets to success. It is a result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. That's what Colin Powell said.
Colin Powell said that. Here, this is an unusual tooth that you mentioned in the rebuild capital. Has that, how does this tooth, how would you use it today after your experiences that you know now? So, in other words, when you first wrote it, did this broad fork mean something then, and now it means something else? How would you use this tooth? Once again, it's a very unusual tooth when you talk about rebuilding your life.
See, that's the thing about that, right? It's like the same principle that I had when I put it when I created it then, right? This whole thing it still applies now, right? When we're talking about preparation. So even now we're in a transition, and just the preparation of it. But I'm always going back to how did I get here, and not losing sight of how I got here, because I didn't get here just because I got a master's in social work. I didn't get here, just because I'm so sweet and brilliant and all that crap. That's not how I got here, right? I got here because I was on my knees. I got here because I was praying. I got here because, in spite of all the crap that I was going through, I didn't stop trusting God. That's how I got here. Because there's a lot of people with master's degrees that's not here. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking about here, I'm not even talking about a financial place. I'm talking about a place of peace in the midst of the different storms that could be going on in my life. In the midst of kids acting up, you know what I'm saying? In the midst of husbands, you know what I'm saying, acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of, all this stuff, right? At the end of the day, I have peace. And so whenever my peace is disturbed, right, I have to ask myself, who have I allowed to get in my vision, get before God? You know what I'm saying? And so it's easy for me to be like, okay, wait, hold on, move. Because I believe let God be true in every man's life.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna put no other guys before. My God, as silly as I act, as crazy as I am, and sometimes at the end of the day, I have an absolute, authentic, real relationship with my heavenly Father.
That you do. That you do. On the,
Believe it.
on the side note, she was definitely true. Her peace is very, very vital. Why don't you like your peace disturbed? Why is that important?
Yeah. I'm about to tell you why that's so important. I'm about to tell you why that's important, right? It's important because I don't want to hurt you. It's important because I don't want to hurt you, right? Because ooh, when when my peace is disturbed, right? And if I'm not walking in the spirit, see, when I say I was crazy, when I say he changed me, at the end of the day, y'all, it's a continual change because I can't go off yesterday's prayer. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not praying today, I'm subject. Shauna T is subject to come out. You see what I'm saying? So my peace is important, not just for me because I'm selfish, but my peace is also important because I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you with the words that I speak out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I don't want because my peace is disturbed. And so that's the thing for me. It's like, no, I'm protecting you and I'm protecting me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not selfish. I'm looking out for you. That's all.
To God be the glory. Trust me out there, family. I have destroyed that peace or interrupted that peace, and thank God that
Grace
they
and
made.
mercy.
Yeah. Thank God, grace and
Grace
mercy.
and mercy.
I've been on several islands. We talk about being in doghouses. Listen, I was on an island, on the island, but I bless God for the God that's in there. I'm gonna go back to one more bucket thing. Oh, yeah. She doesn't know it, even though was created out of her mind years ago. She doesn't know what's going on. She really doesn't. Oh God.
This is the shovel. Mm.
Okay. The shovel. Check this out, then. Grief is perhaps an unknown territory for you. You might feel both helpless and hopeless without a sense of a map for the journey. Confusion is the hallmark of transition. To rebuild both your inner and outer world is a major project. Amy Grant spoke this. And what we followed up on, what she followed up on, is a shovel is used for digging, lifting, removing soil equated to doubt, gravel, unforgiveness, and etc. As you prepare to sow on this road to rebuilding, you must dig up some old beliefs about life and the experiences we had thus far. Please explain, and does this still apply to the shovel?
Absolutely, it applies. So listen, what I teach, right? It's principles that you can use for a lifetime, right? It's not anything that you have to come back to me and say. Now you may have to have some understanding, right, as you're moving forward. But when we're talking about digging up, a lot of us want to change, right? But we don't want to deal with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we change in relationships, we change in jobs, we change in all this stuff. But one thing we fail to change is our belief system. And so it's some beliefs that we have that if you can change spouse, right? You can change jobs, but if you don't change your belief, you're going to still experience some of the same things. So in this change process, in this rebuild process, we got to dig up some stuff first before we start planting seeds on rocky ground or soil that's not fertile, right? And so the shovel helps us to literally dig up some of those things. What are some of the beliefs that I have that may have hindered me from being a good parent, right? Or effective parent. I don't really like to use the word good and bad, but effective. Oftentimes I have to ask myself, okay, is my approach to this, was it effective? Right? The way I said this to my son or the way I said this to my daughter, was it effective? And so when we're looking at the change process and rebuilding, it first starts with us. I got to literally change how I see you, right? Because when we're talking about grief and we're talking about trauma, what it happens is grief don't really have a picture. It has a feeling, right? And so if I'm here and I had this experience with my dad or with a previous friend, right, that hurt me, I can go over here, not be friends with them no more, go over here, and because they made me feel or I experience that feeling with them, it's going to bring up all the grief. And I may even respond at a 10 to this situation, not knowing that it's all the stuff that I've carried throughout the years. You just happen to get the rap. So the shovel helps us to really dig up some things, some old, beliefs and old pattern of behavior. So one time we were out to dinner and a young man asked me, he said, "You telling me nothing from your past is affecting you, how you live now?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." Later on, my husband was like, "Sometimes you can sound arrogant to people, right?" And I'm like, "Well, I only sound arrogant to people who don't know who they are and may not have walked the process, or you know what I'm saying, walk the course." But me telling my truth, if me telling my truth make me sound arrogant to you, that's not my business. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna lower, my standard or who I am to make you feel comfortable. I'm not doing that. You see what I'm saying? So when I say nothing from my past, because you know why? I was able to process through that. I was able to use that shovel. I was able to use that pickaxe. I was able to use that stuff to help me get to where I am today. And so if me and you are into it, it's because what you're doing today, not because of what some other. Not you understand what I'm saying?
Come on,
I'm
come on.
not bringing Robert into my family relationship. I'm not bringing John into my family relationship. You see what I'm saying? So if we have a disagreement, it's because literally of what's going on right now. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's the thing. No, nothing from my past is really affecting me, today because I've dealt with that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not triggered by, what I'm saying, different things.
Wow. I had an experience yesterday with my wife. was talking. I had been on the island, got off the island, took about 2 days, and found myself back on the island. So apparently, I got a lot of vacation time that I can travel like that. But one of the things that she said that was so profound again to me, I love that book. And what I mean that it was an uncover. A lot of times when uh, we as men uh, try to change something because it's not working out, my wife instructed me, listen, babe, and this is a teachable moment. Listen, babe, I can see that you're literally trying to change your behavior, but you cannot change your behavior until you change the thinking process. And here I am trying to change consequences of what people are seeing and how I'm responding, but never went back to dig up my think or my thinking or my thought process. And then I was wondering, why in the HE double hockey stick am I keep repeating the same thing? Could you explain that?
Yeah. So let me just say this, right? 99% of the time, first of all, let me say this: I don't put him on the island. He go there.
Safety. Safety.
99. Right.
I don't like dog houses because
That's
my
that piece.
back goes out, so I'll be crawling around. But islands, I can still get away and I can walk.
But 99% of the time, for real, right? This is what I mean by me doing the work, right? Because 99.9% of the time that we're into, I promise y'all, this is not arrogant. This is the reality of what happens, right? Of any conflict we have has really nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's his thought process and this and that. And so what happens in relationships is that you will try to change a behavior. And so the behavior can change for a moment. But if you don't change the belief, you will, not subject, but you will repeat the same behavior. Because you're just trying to get in line because you don't like being on the island. Or you don't like the arguments or whatever. And so for a few days you're cool. But then you will go back because you still haven't shifted that belief process. And here's the deal. I'm not saying everything that I teach or whatever I share is going to work for everybody. I'm kind of saying that, but you know.
I think you are.
But here's the thing: if you tell me, right, understand, it says you change. If you come to the agency, it's because you're saying I want to change, right? I want something in my life to change. You can't come to my agency and talk to me about your spouse. You know what I'm saying? And want me to help you change them because I don't do that. I can help you, cope or maneuver around it. You know what I'm saying? But I can't help you change them. And so in this process, it's like, wait, hold on. What if you telling me you want peace, right? But you keep allowing certain things to disrupt your peace. I'm like, okay, do you really want peace? Especially if I'm teaching you the steps to protect your peace. And when things happen, you allow your peace to just go right out the door. I'm sitting back like, oh yeah, he don't want no peace. He don't want no peace. It's a story. The neighbor, the man used to walk around the block, right? And every time he would walk around the block and he had this, he seen, a man who had a dog. And the dog would be sitting on this log, right? And the log had nails on it. So the dog is sitting on the log, and so they walking every time he would walk, he just be curious, right? So one day he said he just decided to ask the owner, why are you allowing your dog to sit on this log with nails on it? And the owner said, when it hurt him bad enough, he'd get up. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not trying to change nobody. When you hurt bad enough, you'll get up. You'll move. You'll make a change. You'll get desperate. See, I was desperate for my change didn't happen because people were just telling me, "Oh, girl, you need to do." Because people did tell me that. They did tell me I need to chill out. But that didn't help me change. I had to get desperate. Right?
I noticed you over the years. that the woman at the well, and it's from John 14, and it says that if you knew the gift of God and who it is who says to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. Why is that one of the reasons?
And then again, I was just
The well, the woman at the well.
no, I'm just yeah. Okay, all right. I'm not really. I've been all the women, right? The woman at the well, because you know what I'm saying. When, um, yeah, the woman at the well, because remember the woman at the well, she was at the well because other people didn't want to be around her, right? So she was going there at a time where other people, she was separate, right? So yeah, I've been her, right? But I've really been the woman who was caught in adultery.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So the chapter 2 on here is called caught, right?
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing, and sometimes we get embarrassed when we're caught, but sometimes it takes us being caught to change.
Let me read it.
Go ahead.
And it's called call. It says, teacher, they said to Jesus, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say? John 8:4-5. What do you say?
Yeah, yeah. I say, be without sin, cast the first stone. I say what he said, you know. And so, but that's the thing, right? Helping people be at peace with some of the decisions that they make in their life, right? Not saying I'm proud of it or this and that, but at the end of the day, you can't use it to kill me. You can't use it to hurt me. You can't use it to embarrass me. Because a lot of times we don't walk in our full potential and our purpose because we're still shamed and embarrassed by some things that have happened in the past. And so, one thing about the book, Ladies Take Your Man Back, I was in this relationship, and I was only in this relationship because I believe this is what God said. But in the process of this relationship, girls will be calling me. I mean, girls will be telling me like, one incident happened. They was like, well, he was late for church because he just came from my house, or you know what I mean. It had to be true because how did she know he was late for church? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just a lot of different things that was going on. And so one time the young lady called and she was devastated. She couldn't believe how she had put up with so many years of this guy's crap, and then he just met me and he wanted to marry me, right? And so I was ministering to her at the time, and I'm like, I'm not understanding what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And why you're going through what you're going through. And I'm just ministering to her. And so I hung up the phone and I began to pray for her. And the book, Ladies Take Your Man, came in my spirit. And literally, at that point, I wrote at least the first 2 to 3 chapters right there on the spot. Because at the end of the day, we end up, when things happen to us, we end up questioning who we are. What's wrong with me? Am I good enough? Those type of things. So yeah, I use women from the Bible because again, although women have been depicted as these, Jezebels or these weak vessels, they have done some dynamic things. You know what I'm saying? Not just in the Bible, but throughout history. Any questions though?
Any questions? I got a few. Come on.
So I feel like I don't know the personal side of you, so I want to ask a few personal questions. The first things that come to mind. Describe yourself in 3 words. Not use brilliant, but like that.
Humble, compassionate, and loving.
Okay. Do you find it difficult to work in this industry as a woman, a black woman?
No.
I,
Yeah, no, not at all.
what motivates you?
Yeah, yeah. What motivates me? What motivates me is knowing that my living is not in vain, right? Like my pain wasn't in vain. Mm. Like I had to go through that stuff to get to where I am, right? So that motivates. So every time a new person comes into my office, every time someone clicks on one of my Facebook lives, those things, it motivate me to know that guess what, my pain has purpose. So
My last question is for both of you guys. I am a person of sensitive tenacity. So do you guys both realize how impactful that is as a person?
mm, you know, I think what happened, like when we did it, I think what happened is that we're just we're just being who we are. You know what I'm saying? And I love it because my husband often say to me, he's like, Babe, I'm glad you really don't know who you are, right? He's like, your hair will probably be so big, because at times I seem really naive, and it's good. I
That
don't
she
mind.
is. Yeah, that she
And
is.
I don't mind, right? Because I'm like, I want to remain humble. You know what I'm saying? So when other people see me, it's like they're like, "Oh, LaShanna," and I mean, with me teaching, at the University of Toledo, and like people see me in the grocery store and wonder what I'm doing there. Like, I'm not. I gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? She ain't buying food for her to cook. Right, right, right. But yeah, so when you say that, people have rolled down, rolled on the side of us and told us like, "Wow, I really like your license plate." So those of you who don't know, I have you change your mind, and he has you can change on his. And so just a reminder that no matter what you're going through, you can change.
It's still a process. Always a process, and the change that we're seeking is still ongoing. I'm not settling, despite you hear the dynamics of old school and this and that. And really, old school is a bunch of traditions and rituals. Still trying to process those days despite a lot of that doesn't work. So it's always a constant reminder that we're trying to do better, live better. Uh, my bishop has always told me before dynamics, knowing what God is, so that it lines up with His Word. Lives are changed. It gives life, and God gets the glory. And so when those things are operating, I think change is inevitable because now you're allowing God to do it better. I got one question. What is your pain point of
Hmm. Yeah. So okay. So when I started You Change, right? Yeah, I need those of you, and not talk a lot about, my prison experience, and, from prison to professional and all of that stuff. But for me, because I understood the criminal aspect, right, and people who have felonies not being able to get jobs, and, all of those things. And so before I even got released, I had in my mind that if they don't open the door, I'm gonna bust the door down, right? Or if they don't let me at the table, I'm gonna create my own table. You know what I'm saying? And so when I first started You Change, I started it as a publishing company. So I published the books, I published magazines. And in that process, what happened was my the magazine production was eating up the book sales, right? And so now I'm in a place now where I have my private practice, which is for I really expanded it for professionals and individuals to have somewhere to come where they feel safe, right? To be able to just be who they are without being judged. And so we're transitioning over to an agency. And so it's causing me to be in a real quiet, sensitive place, where I really have to trust God. I cast the vision because I'm like, me being the leader, it's like my team see me all shook up. You know what I'm saying? They'll be shook up. So I have to make sure I'm in or at the feet of Jesus at all times. You know what I'm saying? In my spirit. Because again, I'm in a very sensitive transition. You know what I'm saying? At this point.
our glasses running out? And this is from LaShanna. This is something that she wrote. If you want to be healed, you must open yourself up to a new way of viewing yourself, others, and the world around you. Give yourself the opportunity to venture out into the world of the unknown. You just may find what you have been looking for all along. Well,
because I had the experience, right? Because again, I didn't think I could change. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I bought into the lie. People that was around me, not really seeing a lot of change. You know what I'm saying? So we think um, that people will pretend. He asked me the first question, like I really don't know you. I can't remember exactly how that question was, but he wanted me to say three things, about myself. But here's the deal, right? This is me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was talking to my husband yesterday. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna pretend. Like if we not cool, we not cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to pretend. I'm not showing for the folks. You know what I'm saying? For the people. I remember one time we walked into the church. I remember one time we walked into the church and we would go through our bishop's office, and we not on the same page at all. He was lucky I rode in the car with him to the church. But we walk in, and he walks in. He like, oh hi father. He's all happy and crap, and I'm like looking all, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not about to be pretend. I can't shut it off like that. You know what I'm saying? If you irritated me at home, you irritated me if we go to the stove. We got to solve that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. So this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not this in front of the camera and something else outside the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't like something, I'll say it. I don't like to see people hurt. I don't like to see people mistreated. And I try to make sure that I'm not a part of a person being hurt or mistreated. That's why the Bible says, you who are offended, you are supposed to go to the other person. Because if I ever offended you and you never tell me, I'll never know. Right? So at least if you tell me I offended you, I can say two things. One, I intended to offend you, and you just deal with it. Or two, no, baby, I ain't mean it like that, right? And so that's why it's like you have to be able to let someone know your boundaries. You can't just assume people should know. Okay?
finally, there was so much to get to, maybe on another time. I just want to thank you for tuning in. To, I just want to thank you for tuning in. We've been really open, and she's absolutely correct.
Let me say this. Let me say this. When I'm not on the camera, and I'm not in my office, and we're not playing cards or whatever, I'm worshiping, right? Like if I'm not in my, gym, if I'm not working out, this is that's my life, and all in between. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the work that I do, I can't rely on you, right? Like in and of myself, I can't help it. I can share with you some skills, some things that I've learned, not just through book knowledge, but from experience as well. But I gotta be sensitive to really hear why you come to me. And some people don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like with my husband, if he going through this, I gotta be sensitive because sometimes he may not know how to put it in words. What he's experiencing. So I gotta be sensitive to help him navigate through that. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, it's who I am. What I do at home. What I do at the job. What I do in ministry. It's all ministry, and it's all things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant by not wearing, hats. And again, me, being in this space where it's just like, okay, like I said, I was kind of like jittery a little bit. Like, wait, hold on, how I'm being interviewed, you know? But it's good. This was a good experience. Hopefully, y'all got something out of it. Hopefully, you feel like you know me a little more, you know. But again, this This is who I am, right? This is LaShanna. This is LaShanna. It's all good.
Okay, once again, CEO of YouTube. There's help out there. We, we believe that you change and whenever we put our hands to the plow, that we are a solution to a problem. And through the anointing of God, and stand, bow down, and believe that we have an answer. So I will let my wife close this out with me. I can go back to my book. Listen, y'all, I won't be at an island tonight. Thank God. I won't be on an island.
So, but save the date. So you change. We'll be having an open enrollment June the 11th from 10 to 2. Bring kids, young and old, to come and enroll. We have a lot of different programs that we're rolling out to help you get to that place of change, right? Whatever that looks like. And listen, don't even, like with your adult children, don't even say counseling. You know what I'm saying? Because it's bigger than counseling. We're trying to help people get to that place and help them identify the barriers that's actually stopping them. So mark your calendars June the 11th from 10 to 2 at U Change, Southwood Boulevard. And so we will have flyers out and hopefully 5726 Southwood Boulevard and it's Suite 140. And it's across from Amazon where the old Southwood used to be. Those of you who have been born in the 70s or the 60s or no. Look, them like 20, they like, what? Southwood. But anyway, y'all, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you for interviewing me. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you for allowing me to be a hero. Yeah. Thank you for sharing me with the world. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Right.